How's it hanging, YouTube? Peter here, your Ginger Joe the Geek. Welcome back to the channel for another Saturday Night Live. And we've got a fun-filled show for you tonight. Lots to talk about. As ever, I'm joined by some of YouTube's finest. Now, I have to be very careful what I say this time because I got into a bit of grief last time because I referred to Rob as my favourite American. And
it's okay.
Got very, very upset.
You're allowed to do so.
Yeah. But Chris, I can say confidently you're my favourite Canadian.
Well, I mean, I'm thankful. There's only like 11 of us, so the pickings are slim. So thank you, though.
Yeah. And it is a pleasure to have you back on the show, my friend. How are you? Are you well?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for asking. How are you?
I'm very good. I'm looking forward to this. We've got lots to get through tonight. There's going to be some interesting bits and bobs to talk about, I think. Rob, fresh off another Only Slabs, yourself and Chris. How are you? How are you feeling today, Rob?
I'm still ducky.
Good. And are you getting ready for Christmas? Because it's not too far now, a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Same. We have Christmas same time as you. It's coming up. Remember, we had another Christmas tree delivered today.
Another.
Yeah. Well, apparently we are fans of a synthetic tree. We reuse it every year. You know, the one that we've had for many years doesn't light up anymore and failed. And my wife's solution, like many things in America, is rather than try to fix it, let's just buy a new one. Absolutely. So she bought a new one, and that one arrived, and it was rather small and made Charlie Brown's Christmas tree look like a spectacular tree. So she has bought another one, and it arrived today. And so I tried to tell her, well, let's just leave this sickly one up for now, and we'll leave that one till next year because we're leaving for Christmas. We won't be here for Christmas.
All right.
So
you've just hit me in the nostalgia feels there of Charlie Brown. Snoopy. Yeah. I don't think I've seen a Charlie Brown show or a Snoopy show for years. I can't remember the last time I saw a new kind of.
Wow.
Well, there's not going to be new ones, but
yeah. But
replaying those old ones, you would got to see, the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown at Halloween and see the Christmas one at Christmas time. And
never watched one in my life.
That's because you're 12.
Kick him out of here.
Come on, man.
I know the dance, the dance and stuff, but
yeah, it's a long time since I've seen that. I don't get it. Very cool. James, how are you, sir? Are you well?
Hello, baby.
Oh no.
I'm feeling
Chris,
ducky.
Since the last time you were on the show, Chris, James is trying out a new kind of opening.
Got a rebrand, Chris.
Oh, all right.
It's not working for us, Chris. It's not working for us. Yeah. How are you anyway, James? Are you well?
I'm very good, man. I'm always excited to be here. So, and this is a very game centric episode, and I'm excited to dig into a lot of the topics tonight.
There's been a lot of gaming news over the last few days, isn't there? So we'll get into that in a bit. Now we are joined by none other than Dr. Von Hoot. Hoot, how are you, sir?
Yeah, not bad, guys. Sorry I'm late. I got logged out of my Instagram, which makes it very difficult to get in here. So,
yeah.
I was just going to say that you were off at a dance review, and you were it was difficult getting back here on time.
Yeah, that's it. That's what happened.
Are you ready for action?
I am. I'm all raring to go. Let's get it on.
Oh wow, right. That's I'm excited.
Oh, I'm loving it. I'm loving the enthusiasm. Let's do this.
Okay, chaps. Before we crack on, just quickly going to jump into the chat. See who we've got. We have got good old StreamYard. Thank you for joining.
Yay!
We've got Fuzzy. Entertain me, please. We shall try our very best, Fuzzy. We've got Deadman. Always nice to see you, Deadman. We've got Shiny. Triple J must keep the bolder people at the bottom. I agree. Let's move this around a little bit. We'll have there we go. That looks nice, does it? Yeah, I like that. So we've got Fuzzy also saying Christmas tree Jack. We're going to be talking Christmas trees right the way up till Christmas Day, Fuzzy. So lots more Christmas tree content coming your way. We are going to do a Christmas get-together, not on Christmas Day, obviously, but a Christmas get-together at some point, gentlemen. You're all invited, where we can just chat general kind of festivities and things like that. We've got Sean.
Christmas Goose.
Ooh, yeah. Sean, nice to see you, my friend. Hope you're well. Oh, Efren. Hey, comic book for me. It's your number 2 America. He's still smarting over that.
I'd be too. I prefer. Yeah.
Hey, we are a country of millions, so number 2 ain't bad.
Yeah. Fuzzy, no Lego bollocks. Thanks in advance.
Not a problem.
Yeah,
we shall
we'll not-
oblige.
We'll not be talking Lego tonight, mate. Okay, guys, we've got loads to get through, so let's crack straight on some interesting bits of news this week, which I'm keen to get your views and thoughts on. Just to mention, all funds raised in this charity go to mental health charities. Let's crack straight on with the interesting news. And I quite liked this, so you'll have no doubt seen this week that there's been, I'm not going to say what the spoilers are, everyone will have seen them, I'm sure, but there was some pretty significant spoiler images again came up. So Ryan Reynolds wrote out and put this out, basically saying, they want to film out in the open. Telephoto lenses are the bane of his life, basically, and it's irritating, I guess. He followed that up with what I thought were some of the best tweets of the last few weeks, which were a couple of images.
This is funny. I really love this.
I love the Predator one. I thought that was just
Tremendous trolling.
Superb.
The
Superb.
Urkel one today was good.
Oh, I haven't seen that one yet. I'll have to check that out. So what do you guys think of this? Because I have to say, and I did a little video a little while ago, tongue-in-cheek video, saying that I was going to be in the new Deadpool film, because it felt like every day we were getting 4 or 5 spoilers of this person's in it, that person's in it. And it is, I agree with Ryan to an extent that it spoils the excitement a little bit when I know everything that's coming. What do you guys think of that? Does it bother you?
Yeah, it sucks, man.
It doesn't bother me particularly because I'm going to see it no matter what.
Yeah.
But it's like there's a lot of complaining about the Marvel CG being shit. And like the reason they use so much CG is because they can't shoot out in the open. And people need to stop this because it is ruining the film for some people. I'm going to see it no matter what. But like people like surprises and you want to be surprised.
Exactly. It's designed to be a shock moment. Like there's one particular one where like I would have gone ballistic in the cinema at this moment, and it's kind of sad that I'm seeing a grainy behind the scenes photo of it instead, like a proper like story beat almost. So it's sad, but then again, like I think it would have been a good idea for him from the get-go, knowing that this is going to happen, to do those kind of troll things, to put fake stuff, like go and look like you're filming other stuff so that you don't know when the movie comes out, like what was actually in the movie and what isn't.
Yeah. The it's this mentality of everybody trying to scoop everybody, but the only good piece that comes of it is because there is so much of the quote unquote spoilers are attributed to rumors and whatnot. I think it would have tied in very well to what James is saying right now, put in purposely seed fake stuff, much like Marvel was doing with fake trailers of or images and trailers or whatnot. But a lot of the stuff that I tend to just ignore most of it because there's so many rumors that people report as if they're true, that are rumors based on somebody somewhere just simply say, wouldn't it be cool if, and all of a sudden it becomes like, because of the lack of journalistic integrity that exists today, and it just becomes a snowball rolling. That next thing you know, it's like there's talks with so and so, or somebody is supposedly committed to doing this. When somebody just was in a pub kicking back beers and said, "Hey, wouldn't it be cool if they did this?"
A female silver.
I agree, but there's no way they're spending the money to shoot stuff like the stuff that was leaked to not have it in the film. It's just like at the end of the day,
some of those I'm talking about the photos, yes, but some of the other stories, which is why I say that, as I was saying, because of the stories are the way they are, and because the photos are the way they are, what James suggested would be phenomenal, and they should start doing.
I like the my favorite rumors normally are the ones where it says, I don't know, whoever, as an example, Jennifer Garner is definitely going to be in the movie now because she was spotted in Canada where they're filming it. And it's
Right.
like, oh well, that's that then.
Yeah.
That's
And, like,
agreed. You know.
It's
There's no
different.
other
like-
reason to go to Canada
Yeah,
whatsoever.
exactly.
Well, in Canada's defense, we're the second largest country on the planet.
Exactly.
Just because someone's here doesn't mean they're filming for Deadpool. Like,
Yeah.
But
Canada
90% of the country,
enormous.
no one wants to go to. So let's be honest, it probably is the only reason to go to Canada.
But,
That or pick up some maple syrup.
Yeah. Very true.
My
very
thing is about this is I think Rob hit the nail on the head. The lack of journalistic integrity is really showing in the last little while, especially since COVID hit, with people trying to get the proverbial scoop and everything. But what people are failing to realize is that so much of these films end up on the cutting room floor.
Yeah,
like
it's true.
it could have been purposely a troll, knowing that there's a cameraman with a high-powered camera sitting right there taking still shots. It's mind-boggling, but it also goes to show the hunger that everyone has for this next movie, knowing next year there's only one MCU film that's being released, and that's Deadpool.
Yeah.
I know that Disney Plus is going to have a handful of shows and stuff, but the only one going to theaters is going to be Deadpool. So everyone wants to get the leg up on each other, and the fact that it's supposed to be a little bit lower with the CGI and higher with the realistic shot scenes.
Yeah.
People are just hungry for it. So people that
Is
The
it
one thing
us,
I take
though,
from
or
all
is
of
it
this-
just those people?
Yeah, the one thing I take from all this though is people who are like poo-pooing the MCU right now. They're the ones that are like retweeting and re-releasing these images. Tell the truth. The truth is that you're starving for this content, but you're starving for good quality stuff compared to the crap that they've been releasing lately.
Absolutely. I think one of the things that irritates me most about it all is that we seem to have, there were always some idiots out there, but we seem to have lost any kind of level of etiquette with this. So you used to get a big page saying spoilers, and then if you wanted to look, you looked. If you didn't, you are none the wiser. Whereas now I go on Instagram or I go on YouTube.
It's immediate.
It's literally
As soon as you log on, it's because we're looking at nerdy stuff ourselves. It's in our
It's
algorithm.
It's
We
my
can't avoid this
Google
shit.
feed.
Yeah.
It's just my news feed
constant.
is filled with it
There's
practically.
no avoiding that.
It's true.
Yeah.
Just going to jump to the chat, ladies and gents. Let's see who we've got. We've got Fuzzy. He did himself no favours when he released the initial photos of Deadpool and Wolverine at the same exact location. Absolutely, Fuzzy. You're right, mate. You're right. And we now see the majority of that scene probably. Yeah, I think we've probably. I'm imagining that's going to be the kind of the climax of the movie. Most probably.
I think that's their first meeting.
You think?
I mean,
It's my guess. Yeah.
I've loved all the rumors that were going around about this whole thing, that he was getting like the Snyderverse folks to show up in this damn thing, which is like, you think
I
that's
love
gonna
that.
dream on?
I
would
love
love
that.
that.
Could you imagine
as well?
Jason Momoa wandering down past them?
I think it was Batfleck was the one that was being rumored. It was for at one point was, yes, they got Ben Affleck. He's going to show up as Batman in it. Like,
Yeah,
would you put the pipe down?
Yeah.
And freaking let's switch to a softer drug.
so they, to get this straight, they hire Ben Affleck, and instead of casting him as Daredevil, the character he did play in a Marvel movie,
Right.
they go with a DC Batman. Okay, that's
And it's his
that makes
DC
perfect
Batman
sense.
gonna meet Elektra then. Jennifer Garner's in it, so they'll have a little scene together.
I mean,
That'd be fun.
DC are well known for not minding sharing the characters. Do you know what I mean?
Right,
Of
So
course,
well,
I'm sure they wouldn't.
just play along well. Don't
Yeah,
they?
there's no
wouldn't.
licensing issues whatsoever, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Shiny. It would be cool if they completely redid the Sabretooth scene because of the spoilers. It would, but I'm excited to see it. I know it's been spoiled for us. I've just been moaning, but I loved that version of Sabretooth. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Supporter of this comics curing cancer, that gentleman. We appreciate
Was he?
it. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
He said he donated some signed photographs of him and helped to promote C3 a little bit.
Fantastic.
You want to try and get hold of him because he's done some live streams with people as well.
We're actually in contact, but we've had direct communications with him. Yeah.
What do you mean you don't know, Peter? We were watching the video when that came up.
I was probably drunk. I don't remember.
You weren't drunk. No, we were watching SpiderMan, the pictures.
I can't remember. Dead Man, like the old game of Chinese whispers, absolutely. Efren, here's a scoop since I'm number 2. I have no pressure having to handle all the responsibilities of being number 1.
He will never let that
He's
go.
never gonna let this.
Yeah,
Never gonna
yeah.
let this go.
Move it down.
Yeah.
No.
And Pad Bear, welcome Pad Bear. Waiting to see Deadpool and Wolverine on the starting line.
Honest to God, they might do that to promote the movie. Like
That would be hilarious.
Game.
The
Yeah,
Red
Dragons,
with
let's
that,
go.
That would be superb. Superb. Okay, guys, next bit of news. Rob, I'm going to come to you first about this, and then Chris, because you guys are my main Spider-Men. We've got SpiderMan Noir starting to move ahead now, and it's now been linked that the showrunner is going to be the guy who did Punisher. Can't remember his name, but he's going to be kind of steering it, which has got me quite excited, because if he follows through with the Punisher into this could be quite dark and gritty and realistic, as I think Spider-Man Noir should be.
Absolutely.
What do you guys think of this?
I hadn't heard this, but you know
Wonderful
what?
news, yes.
I am full mast here on this one. This is exciting to me. I love Spider-Man Noir. I love the comics, what they've done with them, especially this most recent series when they reimagine some of these characters and they stick to that era and that science and the technology of the time. Like what they did with the Electro in Noir and stuff was phenomenal. Huge fan of the character and what they could do in that universe. And if they really kind of do a show where they stick to it in that realm, it can be very street level based as well.
Yeah,
that would work. I think it would be awesome.
And for those who haven't read Spider-Man Noir, there's actually a level of violence there that doesn't cross over into the Amazing Spider-Man. So, yeah, if you're correct that the showrunner that the Punisher had takes over for Noir, like expect that to happen. Like this is not going to be, Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield showing up, being, the handsome Peter Parker and then the cool Spider-Man. No, there's going to be a level of violence here because Noir is not afraid to get down and dirty. Like this is wonderful news.
The only thing is that this had better be shot in black and white.
Yeah.
If this is presented to me in color, it's bollocks.
Yeah. Well, they did Werewolf by Night perfectly last year in that black and white with that tone worked beautifully. I hope that they realize they can do this way. There's no need for anything else. You're right. We don't need to vote or anything. Yeah.
I mean,
it's Amazon though. Like I think they take upon
the only thing I will accept is they could do it kind of like in that with color splashes.
Sin City, sorry.
Sin City, splashes of color here and there, maybe, but essentially it needs to be basically black and white.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to be honest, guys. I don't know a great deal of Spider-Man Noir. I've not read much of him outside of the Into the Spider-Verse stuff, but I love the aesthetic of the costume, in a kind of a gritty version.
Yeah, he's a PI in like the late 30s, early 40s era. He's a PI. Kind of like the gumshoe type of. Like you would get from any kind of the Maltese Falcon type stuff that you bring in, except that he just happens to also be Spider-Man, but he's got guns. He's got.
James, you're a fan of Spider-Man Noir, right? I think
love him. One of my favorite versions of Spider-Man. I'm just excited. Like we're talking about it here as a concept, but just when we get a trailer for this and we get the visual style and the tone and the music and the the voiceover, I think it could be incredible. So yeah, I'm definitely an ear raised for this one.
I mean, the more I hear about them, the more you guys talk, I'm thinking this should be a gritty kind of black and white show.
Yep.
Yeah.
It'll not look right in color, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean?
Yep. Nope, not at all.
Von Hoot, are you excited about this? Are you a Spider-Man Noir fan?
I am. I think of all the variants of Spider-Man, he's the most interesting to me. So, I mean, I like Spider-Punk too, to be fair. But yeah, Spider-Man Noir is really exciting from all the things that they could do with it, sort of perspective. It could be really interesting to watch. I mean, it could also end up being a farce, and that is a worry because obviously you have the character that from the Into the Spider-Verse movie, and that is like very parody of a gumshoe detective, and that's always a worry that they'll go down that route.
I don't see them doing that. I think they'll take this
with the Punisher guy. Probably not. I mean, like that's encouraging. I'm just saying that is a possibility. I think you hit the nail on the head with the music, though. I think the music could be like the thing that really pushes it over the edge of greatness. So I'm very excited. That's fun.
Yeah, looking forward to that one. That one's going to be good. This came out just this week. The absolutely shocking news that I'm sure will have surprised you all, that James Gunn has cast his brother in his DC universe, Maxwell Lord.
What?
This is interesting casting in that Max Lord will potentially be able to cross over into a whole host of movies. So he's not going to be limited just to the Superman movie.
No, they actually said like outright in the thing, he's a background character in Legacy to be further continued in other movies. So it's like great. Bit of a downgrade from Pedro, I think, though.
Was Pedro meant to be playing Max Lord? Was it?
In
Wonder Woman, didn't he?
Wonder Woman 1984, yeah.
No, that's not.
Life is good, but it can be better.
Try to forget that movie.
He was good in that.
This is no surprise to anybody, is it? I think works.
Well, maybe this role, but he would have been. But the fact that he's been cast, no.
He's already fucking playing two other DC. Like, isn't he one of the Creature Commandos? He's already one of them. He's
Suicide
Weasel
Squad?
as well. Yeah. He's already multiple characters. Like, come on, get your own job.
He probably works cheap. Like, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, the interesting thing again, though, is unless well, I'm not to
Look,
do the
if
guy
you don't
any
know anything about
disservice.
Hollywood, and that is that nepotism is king.
Absolutely, yeah.
I just wanted to, I saw a Sean Gunn panel at Comic-Con a couple of months ago, and one of the guys asked him what's it like living in James Gunn's shadow. And he tried to like be nice, but you could tell it hurt him a bit. Like that question.
I would have replied to that saying,
say.
"Well, it's called being a fully employed actor."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because I mean, again, if you know the character, I do struggle to see him as Max Lord. That's my issue. With
I struggled to him as Calendar Man, and that was a 2-second thing. So this might just be a 2-second thing. Like so.
Yeah, but Max Lord's got quite a good background in the DCU, particularly if you follow kind of his dispatching of a certain blue character and things like that. I mean, Chris, what do you think on this?
Well, I've been reading Wonder Woman for like 8 years straight now, and Maxwell Lord is constantly showing up in Wonder Woman stories. It doesn't really matter who the writer is, whether it's Meredith Finch or Becky Cloonan. Everyone wants to throw Maxwell Lord in there. But yeah, I don't know about this casting, I'll admit, because Maxwell Lord to me is a very straight shooter, and like he's a very intense character, much like Lex Luthor, but just at a different level where it's not about like ruling the world or the end of Superman. Maxwell Lord operates on a like to his own different drum. And I just thought when I saw this, like this may have been yesterday or earlier this morning I saw it, but I thought, really, like we're going this way with his brother doing it this way. We're not going to go get, like an unknown stage actor who really could create the character and make him his own the way that Pedro did, even though that film was terrible. I don't know about this one. I got to admit, I really don't know. I hope that, just because I'm a fan of Maxwell Lord, I hope they don't make him campy or put him over the top the way that James Gunn does sometimes with certain characters. But I think this villain is one of those villains that if you don't read DC like a hardcore reader, you don't necessarily know this character. But this character is very well respected as a villain, and I just hope that James Gunn maintains that with bringing him in.
I mean, he started off as a bit of a joke in the old Justice League run, but then over the last 10 years or so, he's been elevated to almost top tier DC bad guys, really, in many ways. I mean, the again, for those of you that read a lot of comic books, I think it was Sacrifice where he manipulated Superman into fighting Wonder Woman. And there's some brutal battling in that. It's a real good arc. So yeah, it's I don't know, it's interesting. We'll see what comes of it. Just going to quickly jump to the chat, guys. Pat Bear is saying obviously they couldn't afford Pedro. I don't think anybody can at the moment. The guy's gone nuclear, hasn't he? He's we talked last week, I think it was, about him not taking part in Mandalorian in the next season, which is going to be interesting. saying that, we don't know how much he took part in the last season.
This is 0. He sat in the booth for an hour and recorded some dialogue.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Fuzzy is saying Bugsy Malone, Dick Tracy, Al Capone. There's plenty of quality stuff from that era for noir apps. Dick Tracy, there's a property that doesn't really get used a great deal these days.
No,
Have you seen like those weird like online videos that he does to keep the rights?
No.
Oh, it's what's the actor that plays him in it?
Warren Beatty?
Warren Beatty. It's like Warren Beatty in real life interviewing Dick Tracy, played by Warren Beatty. Like, it's just, he does these weird things so he keeps the rights to it going, like, because he doesn't want to give them up because he owns it. He owns like Dick Tracy.
Warren Beatty owns Dick Tracy, does he?
The movie rights, at least, for Dick Tracy, yeah.
Didn't realize.
So he has to do a thing with it every few years, and it's always like a weird, shitty YouTube video. Like,
well, that'll be why we never see anything to do with it then.
Yeah, exactly. He's just too greedy. He won't give it up. Like,
well, Warren Beatty must be a canny age, surely. I mean,
late 80s, yeah, 90ish. Like, yeah.
That Bugsy Malone movie, Madonna was in it. Is that right? From memory, yeah.
That was the Dick Tracy. Yeah.
Dick Tracy.
There's a new Dick Tracy comic coming out soon.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Isn't Vogue? Vogue is from the soundtrack, I think, as well. Dick Tracy, that was.
Is it?
That, yeah. I think so.
Long time since I've seen that. Shiny, I like James Gunn, but you'd think he'll make the new DC stuff too goofy. I know he usually gets a good balance with it, though. I am worried about that. He does get a good balance, but for me, I'm going to sound like an old fart, but for me, Superman is not a character I want shooting jokes and cracking funnies. Do you know what I mean?
He is very good at manipulating an audience, though.
Yeah.
So, whilst I agree Superman isn't appropriate for sort of the slapsticky sort of humor that he uses in, say, Peacemaker or anything like that, he is very good at manipulation. So, hopefully, it won't be an issue.
Yeah. We'll see. James shouldn't talk about Pedro. He's blind as
it's objective. It's an objective fact.
Absolutely.
He's amazing. So,
Fuzzy saying he thought that the image we just showed was Sam Smith. Could be. We've got Brian here. Nice to see you, Brian. And thank you very much for joining, my friend. Fuzzy, Warren Beatty must be 113 by now. Yeah. And oh, Fuzzy, you have to bring it down. But yeah, you're right. He had fun with Madonna. Okay, next bit of news, guys, is being well and truly talked about, but I just wanted to get your thoughts on it. This has kind of really hit the internet this week. This is a gentleman from the Comic Palace. So he's a physical comic book shop owner. You guys all seen this article knocking around? Have you been aware of this? So this is basically the gentleman's been having a bit of a rant about comic books, new comic books in general. He speaks passionately, shall we say, about how he believes that current writers don't have the love for the characters that they used to, and are kind of inserting themselves into the character, so writing it as if they were the characters. Now that's fine. An internet guy having a bit of a conversation or a rant about whatever they want is absolutely fine. But what's interesting is what's happened afterwards. There's a whole host of creators kind of jumped on the back of this and have made some interesting comments, some downright unpleasant comments, picking issues with his physical appearance and things like that, which is totally unfair. And then some comic creators like Mark Miller have jumped in and actually given him a lot of support. It's been really interesting that it's kind of exploding this way. What do you guys think of it? Von Hoot, have you seen this? Have you been aware of this issue?
Yeah, I actually watched a Swagglehorse video a couple of days ago about it. And, okay, I feel like, in principle, like I sort of agree in some instances that well-known characters, when they are written different to the way we've always known them, it can be an issue, and that is a problem. But I'd sort of disagree that writers shouldn't put themselves in it, because all writers always have. I mean, there will always be a particular slant that a writer has, and it depends whether you enjoy that or not. But fundamentally, yeah, I do think that you should try and stick to the like feeling like the same character. It's the same reason I don't like Optimus Prime in the Bay movies, because he doesn't feel like Optimus Prime. So I understand completely. My problem is there's an underlying subtext of it being sort of quite political, and it sort of implies that, like, you know, the catchword wokeness will be bandied about as if it's a negative and stuff like that, which I just don't have time for. So like, I don't want to engage in that conversation particularly, because it drives me mental.
I agree. No, I think you're absolutely bang on. I think you're bang on, mate. Anybody else got anything you want to mention on this?
I think that Chris and I both agree. We fully understand where this is coming from. As a fan of a character that we have suffered through for hundreds and hundreds of issues, as people have gone on some horrible writing sprees, doing their own thing and deviating from what the character was all about, and just we come along for the ride because we care about we like the character, even though we find ourselves threatening constantly to abandon him, to the point where, you know, I'm super excited about a concept of an ultimate version of this character coming out, only because while it's not exactly what I'm used to, there's the potential promise it's more of what I would envision that character's supposed to be, instead of what some writing team decided they wanted to do and tweak with it. Now, there's nothing wrong with writers putting an element. You're always going to put your spin on a character when you're writing it. That's the why sometimes some writers' stories are better than others. Yeah. But if you're doing these legacy characters, at the end of the day, there's a certain elements that you have to stay true to, because that's why that character has managed to be a legacy character that spans so long and sells books consistently, because the fans connected to that character and have a certain expectation. Put him in different scenarios, tweak it every once in a while, sure enough, but at the end of the day, he should still feel like that legacy character.
Absolutely. No, I absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. And it's interesting because, you know, when Von Hoot was talking there, when I'd watched this guy's video, the first thing I thought of was how pissed off I was seeing Prime's personality totally change in those movies. And I think, you know, your Spider-Man analogy there is bang on as well. It's heartbreaking when a character you've known for years and years and years fundamentally suddenly shifts and changes without any real kind of explanation or understanding. James, have you watched this? Has this hit your radar?
No, I've scrolled past things about it. Like, I think it's not right to be going attacking. The guy's just expressing his opinion, and that's something that everybody should be allowed to do without being attacked for how you look or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think Fuzzy makes a good point here about, like, does he not want people to buy the comics? You know, he owns a comic shop and he's like shitting on them.
No, he was making his own personal. He's making his personal commentary on what he thought of the books.
Yeah,
you know, and some of the stuff that was going on. He wasn't saying that people shouldn't buy this stuff.
No, I mean, like, as a comic store owner, you're shitting on the thing you're selling. Do you know what I mean?
I think he's just given his honest personal opinion, and he's obviously a passionate seller.
In a business sense, I agree with James, though. It is a little bit short-sighted.
But I do...
Well, I'm not going to go get my copy of it.
I do wonder if part of that comes from the fact that he is a comic book seller, and that he's seen the
sales going down,
sales maybe, because of some of these changes. Just going to quickly jump to the chat, guys. Fuzzy is saying on the last message he sent, the old Peter would have read that message out. You can tell he's monetized.
You've changed, man.
I can still say shag. I can say shag. Well, I think I can say shag. We'll see.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, I can say shag.
You can always talk about carpet. I prefer a low pile. Yeah. Sometimes hardwood floors in America are very popular, but every once in a while, you know, a little shag is fine.
Yeah. And where do you stand on a good Persian rug, Rob? Is that up there? Or
I'm not necessarily connected to a certain rug from a particular area. I tend to get my area rugs from the Lowe's, which is a giant home store. So I'm all about inexpensive carpet because I have a dog.
I feel like Persian rug has a different meaning across the pond. But just one thing about this, Pete, before we go to a different topic, I watched this and what I took from it was he's like all of us. He's just cheesed off about different stories and main characters that he enjoys not being done the same way, and that, you know, like, get off my yard kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I quickly went away from as far away from this as I could, because I hate bullying. It detests me. I think it's a sign of the unintelligible when people come out. If you're going to counter this man's response and to somehow then pick apart a physical appearance or anything like that, you've lost me to the point where I don't want to hear from you anymore. And that's the part, as soon as I started to see this happen, I pulled away, and I was not even aware until you just said that Mark Miller has now come to this man's defense. The only Mark Miller news I heard was obviously the Dark Horse show. Not to put the curtain in front of the horse here, but I quickly retreated from this because I just can't stand people knocking appearances of someone who just happens to vocalize something that's really, really bothering him, or for a reason that he's perturbed. And that's one thing, I got to be careful, when it comes to watching people when they talk politics. And then when there's a rebuttal, if they choose to then start to rip it apart their appearance, you've lost me.
Yeah. No, I agree, Chris. And I think, it's really interesting because a number of fairly high profile creators jumped on this guy and had a go at him. Mark Miller responded and basically said, this guy's got a fair point. He's got a comic shop. He's living. I think the phrase he used was, this guy's on the front lines. So he sees what people are seeing, Gail Simmons, I think, came out and supported him as well. But then, interestingly, it's worth checking out, Mark Miller reached out to him and asked him if he would do an interview with him. So they've recorded an interview together talking about it, which is, I haven't watched the full thing yet, but it's quite interesting. Phil is saying, I've watched the comic book for a few years now. The fella Glenn is such a nerd, but he's hilarious. He's just a passionate comic book lover. Jack, nice to see you, my friend. Sorry, Chris, I'm hiding your face there. Nope. We've got Comicverse here as well. Nice to see you. Phil, I think he's perfectly entitled to that opinion. His sales have plummeted. I've also dropped loads of books because quality is poor. I can't disagree with that, Phil. I can't disagree with that, mate. We've got Big Dave, Evening Peeps, looking forward to the date next week. Yeah, me and Dave are going to see the new Godzilla movie next week. Is it
I cannot wait to see that movie. I'm so hyped.
Cool. It's getting amazing reviews, absolutely amazing. So yeah, that looks very cool. Fuzzy, ODVH, you let me down using the W word. Yeah, but we've got Pad Bear saying he was spot on with his comments. Von Hoot replying to Fuzzy. Fuzzy, that's a comment you've just read, James, about him not wanting to buy his books. Quickly scan. We've got Kenneth. Nice to see you, Kenneth. Hope you're well. Pad Bear watched that Mark Miller interview I talked about. Really interesting. Yeah, I need to kind of catch up on that. I need to.
Didn't you assign it to us as homework?
No, because it just came out, I think, today. That might have been the one I sent. That might have been. Yeah, that might have been the one I sent.
So I watched an interview with Mark Miller and his guys.
So have you watched the full video, Rob?
Yeah.
And is it good? Is Mark? Because I only managed to catch the first couple of minutes of it.
I always paid attention to other things at the same time, but I got the gist of what was being said.
Yeah. Good.
Essentially saying that, he what you just summarized. I mean, it's repeating the same things over and over throughout the interview. Essentially, that he's on the front line, he's entitled to his opinion, and that people are idiots for jumping on this guy for expressing his opinion, and especially those that were attacking him with things that had nothing to do with his opinion, right? So it would be interesting, though. It would be to go back and see which creators were the ones that were jumping on him. It's going, you feel a little like being called out. You were being called out. Obviously, you know that you're not doing a goddamn good job.
Well, interestingly, Donny Cates was one of the guys who made a few comments that he deleted his posts quite rapidly. Yeah. And there was a couple of other names that I didn't recognize, to be honest.
Yeah, so a few people feeling a little like they were being called out, without having been called out.
Absolutely.
Interesting.
Absolutely. Fuzzy, I'm more insulted there's no Scotty Youngs on the show. Yeah, Fuzzy's a massive Scotty Young fan. Dead Man Peter Shagger's what my granddad called tobacco in his pipe.
Yeah. Shag tobacco. I remember that expression.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
If you have to reduce your argument to picking on somebody's appearance, you're no longer in the conversation. Absolutely.
Yeah.
When I was doing my training back in the day, they used to say, as soon as you lose your temper, you've lost the argument. So, just to remain calm and collect
Well,
as much as you can.
when you're talking about something other than the actual topic of conversation,
Yeah,
obviously
absolutely.
you have nothing to say that's important because
Yeah. And Fuzzy, where's the original video? If you go on YouTube, mate, I'll put the link in the description. I can't remember what the site is, but you'll see kind of the Mark Miller video in particular has got a good kind of clip section at the start of the actual footage of what the guy said. But there's lots of videos about it at the moment. So, I can't remember.
I actually hadn't even heard of any of this until you sent me
You
the
missed it.
homework.
You missed it all.
Oh.
I'll put some of the links in the description. But there's a
I
number
tend
of
to try
YouTubers
to
done
live
stuff.
my life above this petty
above
crap.
the petty shit. Yeah. Just wanted to briefly mention this, guys. This totally missed me. I didn't realize this was a thing. Suicide Squad anime.
Yeah,
I didn't know anything about this. No, I've missed this. So
I saw the trailer.
Someone tell us a little bit about this. What's this all about?
Not much to tell, really. It's a Suicide Squad anime,
That's it. You said it.
It's not connected to anybody, anything that's going on with DC at the moment. I don't think anyone is involved. Like James Gunn's not involved, or anyone else is involved. Yeah, I don't know. Marvel, like sometimes they just do this. Marvel had a whole anime thing like 10, 15 years ago. They had a few shows, so like trying something new.
It looks pretty cool, like from the trailer, but I mean that doesn't really say a lot. It's cool animation, and it's an anime. You can imagine.
Who's the guy in the white suit?
I don't know.
I don't recognize him at all. Don't know who that is. Yeah, is this something you guys will be watching?
I'll check out the first episode and see how it is. If it gets like rave reviews,
yeah.
I may check it out. The one thing that I do know about it is that it's not connected to the Superman anime that was out earlier this year, and I was hoping that it might be, but apparently it's not. Now that could be a lie, but the art style does look a little different from what the Man of Steel was.
Was that the My Adventures with Superman?
Yes. Yeah.
So I watched that. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah,
that was
it's really
cool
fun.
series.
Yeah. It was it was obviously a different take, but I thought it was really well done.
Yeah. No, I really enjoyed that one, and it was lovely seeing some callbacks to DC characters like I can't remember what his name is, but the is it Marcel, the monkey and brain living in Cadamus? They were really cool. So yeah, I enjoyed that series. Good. Okay, James, going to come to you for this one. This is news that this is, I've forgotten the name of it. What is it?
Twisted Metal.
Twisted Metal.
Yep.
It's got a season 2. Have I just completely missed season 1? I remember we're talking about it, and then I don't think I've seen it.
It was on Peacock, so it wasn't on here. And then we were waiting. We were going to do a review on my thing. The whole thing was out. It dropped all at once, and we were waiting for it to show up on Sky. And I don't know if it ever did. It might have by now. I still haven't watched it.
Has anybody seen this? Any of you got? Chris, what's it like? Is it any good?
Yeah, I think it was 7 or 8 episodes. It dropped on Paramount Plus in Canada, and it all dropped at the same time. And yeah, it had that slight level of campiness to it, but it wasn't over the top. They made no bones about the fact that it's going to be violent, and it had, the typical violence that you'd expect that you would get in the Twisted Metal game. But the last episode is the banger of the series when they literally had the smash up derby that was kind of taunted throughout the series. Yeah. It really was like Mad Max, the Mel Gibson stuff meets Twisted Metal. It was kind of like going across country for a specific goal, the lead character, I forget the actors, Anthony Mackie is basically set off to do a plan and goes across country through a zone that it's not safe to drive through. It was that type of film. Like I said, Mad Max meets Twisted Metal. It wasn't just all the characters dropped in an arena and it was just smash up derby. But that last episode is when you get that to finally happen. The big conclusion and cliffhanger. And so I'm glad to hear that it was renewed for a second season because it did end on a cliffhanger.
There's some really cool characters like from this franchise that aren't in season 1. So there'll be some cool places you can go to with season 2. So
okay, I'm gonna have to find that one over here in the UK. I can't say I've seen it anyway.
Might be on Sky. It might be there.
Nobody's talking about it. Do you know what I mean?
I just had a look. I don't think it's out here yet. Like
That's it's been months. That we're talking like 5 months now at this stage. Like,
yeah, that's weird.
Strange.
Okay, we'll check that out when it comes over here then. This is a little bit of news to say that Will Smith has confirmed he's going to be back in what's this friggin' film called again?
I Am Legend.
I Am Legend. Yeah. I liked the first one, but didn't it have 2 separate endings? I seem to remember.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, so like the actual ending people hate, but the original ending, which is the book ending, is like more kind of existential and dramatic. And I think they're picking that ending as the actual ending for some, like,
right,
which is confusing for some people, I think.
I mean, I seem to remember enjoying the movie, so I will look forward to this. But do we think Will's had his time in penance now? Is he allowed back into our movie theaters? What do you think?
I mean, you'll never look at him the same again, though. I think, maybe give it a few movies, but I think that's a stink that's going to follow him forever.
Yeah.
I agree with James. I don't know if he's ever going to be able to shake the smack around the smack heard around the world. However, the stuff that's come out since concerning his wife and all of that really, to me, has like opened up the gateway to, okay, now I start to see like this man. So I hope that before this comes out, that they talk that he's gone through some help, because I think there's one thing everyone would agree on. It sounds like he needed some help after all that went down.
Because didn't it come out that they haven't been technically together for a long, long time?
Yeah, and she was like sleeping with the son's friend and stuff like that. It's like it's a whole. I tell you, like, Chris Rock could have made a much worse joke than
he could have ripped him apart.
Short hair, So yeah.
Come on, 20 years ago we would have been applauding him for standing up for his wife.
Yeah,
the things that actors and other people have done, said, and everything else in the world. Somebody standing up for his wife being attacked by a joke, as opposed to coercing actresses into doing things that they don't want to do and other stuff. I'm far, far from turning him off from watching a movie from him being in it versus some of these other things. That
honestly, until you brought it up, I'd completely forgotten about it. I really don't care about that slap. Like, I mean, it was a silly thing to do, but I've done loads of silly things. So.
And truth be told, like, I don't really care about his personal life. The man generally puts out good quality films or whatever, and so I loved I Am Legend. I like the fact that they used Mike Patton as the voice for all the like zombies. The lead singer Faith No More did all those sounds, and the fact they put Bob Marley in his music into that film as well. The whole dog scene, I thought it was really, really well done. So I'm looking forward. I've been waiting for I Am Legend 2 for feels like 15 years at least.
And Fuzzy's just mentioned in the comments there, guys, and I completely forgot this.
Batman versus Superman poster.
This is where we saw the Batman versus.
That's the main thing I remember from the movie.
Yeah,
is that poster.
I honestly, I think that got me to watch it. I think because I heard that and I was like, I want to see this, and enjoyed the movie anyway.
Yeah, but I think you're right. I think Rob's right. There are people who've done far worse things out there. I am not in any way justifying what he did, but I think you've got to sometimes try and separate the actor from the personal life and all the rest of it. So yeah, I will watch the film. I will go and see. The other
thing I've always wondered about all that: how much of it was him reacting to Chris Rock attacking him, versus how much of it was he thought was funny in its own right? Like, was it like, I thought this was going to be funny and it wasn't, and I didn't think it through because it was like in an instant type thing? Because sometimes we do stupid stuff like that we think is going to be funny, and afterwards we go, "Ooh, wow, that just no."
Well, no, because it was I think it was more the outburst afterwards that kind of ruined it. He'd have gotten away with it if he went back, sat down, and no one acknowledged anything. People would have just thought it was a joke for the rest of the night.
I mean, I have to say,
that's true.
I'm with Chris. I think that this guy has got a screwed up situation off camera,
and he continues to stand by everything and try to be devoted, and obviously he cares for her despite everything else that's whatever's going on. And but hey, There's different kinds of relationships, and we don't have to understand them all.
Absolutely.
I mean, Mrs. Von Hoot loves a Mao.
I mean,
mean,
yeah. And
I mean, you'll have to ask her, but yeah, I think so.
I mean, I have to be honest, Rob. We'll have laws about that kind of stuff over here. I don't know what it's like in America, but yeah, it's frowned upon.
About loving them out.
Yeah,
UK is so interesting.
Yeah, quaint. We're quaint. Yeah, yeah. Okay, guys. So moving on to what we've been reading. I've not got much to talk about this week, but I did want to mention that I have recently read the first part of the new Spider-Man crossover. Don't know if you guys have read that. The kind of the Gang War series. Have you guys had a chance to catch up with that yet? Interesting. It got much more violent and graphic at one point than I was expecting. Chris, have you read it? What did you think of it?
A particular villain, I don't know if he's still with us or not anymore. That was a little bit of a curveball, and I gotta admit, Pete, I was going to skip over Gang War until the owner of my LCS says you should pick this up. Like, you're not going to believe what happens at the end of this book, and you're going to be wondering, is this big time villain going to make it or not? And it was just a little bit of a wow moment. I haven't had a wow moment with a Peter Parker book in a long time. And I on my own channel, I've been kind of poo-pooing the whole idea of Gang War, but since that, I'm looking forward to it. Now, I may not go out and collect all the Gang War, but I'll collect all the Miles and Spider-Man Gang War related stuff, and Daredevil as well. Yeah,
I mean, it completely threw me in the middle of the book. The level of, I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't watched it yet, but read it yet. Sorry, but just the level of graphic violence. It was very akin to another comic book series, very famous series, and a scene from that, in terms of the shock value. So yeah, it was interesting. Rob, you not managed to catch up with it yet?
I'm always a couple weeks behind on books, but
yeah, it's I'll be interested to hear what you think when you get to it, because it's an interesting one. Anybody else been reading anything you want to talk about? Von Hoot, have you been reading anything lately?
I haven't this week. My back's been playing up, so I haven't been holding my tablet.
Is it the dance moves? You hurt
yeah,
your
it's
back?
the dance. Yeah, it's definitely the dance.
Slipped a disc. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm a little bit behind again, but
yeah,
that'll teach you. Dancing's a young man's game.
Yeah. Oh, it is. Yeah.
I absolutely love that video, and I played it for my son and my wife. They are in stitches. It's superb. It's superb.
Nice.
Rob, have you been reading anything you want to mention?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Yeah.
Okay, and how about you, Chris? Oh, look at that, man!
How did I forget that? Yeah. I read that.
When Daniel Warren Johnson was announced that he's going to be handling both the writing and the art for Transformers, I was over the moon. But I didn't expect this level of quality, and just it almost feels like a soap opera. I'm so hooked. Like he's just got me reeled in. And again, Starscream. I never thought I would love a Transformers villain more than Megatron, but Starscream is just so damn good in this. And the fact that the Autobots are still real, like they're just on their heels the entire time, trying to keep up, and it's just so good. And I'm saddened to see that apparently Daniel Warren Johnson is not going to be doing the penciling, at least beyond this first arc. Not to spend any negative light, but my goodness, this has been so much fun. It's definitely top 3 independents for me this year. Like that one, Hexagon Bridge, and Beneath the Trees. I forget. Nobody sees what's beneath the trees. I think that's what it's called. Just that one issue, it's got my mind blown. But yeah, Transformers, read of the week for me, like above and beyond everything else.
There was a great bit of it, of just a little bit of dialogue between Soundwave and Starscream, and it really sounded like Starscream. It was great. Like and because he's an absolute prick, and he's a wonderful character. Yeah. I thought the art, if I'm going to be harsh here, was a little bit subpar compared to some of his other stuff. like a lot of blurring rather than
Okay.
detail, which is a bit, it's me. I prefer a little bit more detail in those instances.
Yeah.
But I don't care. It's still a brilliant book at the moment. Like, it's my favorite thing to read, and it's my favorite thing.
Yeah, it's one of
Sounds
my
more interesting than the user agreements and stuff I've been reading.
yeah. There's probably more excitement in it. It's one of my favorite reads at the moment. And I think Chris, you've touched on Starscream there in terms of his characterization, and this is just phenomenal. It's simple things for me. It's like in issue 2 when the guy parachutes out of the aircraft and he splats him. But it's the smile on his face. He's loving life.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? This is fun. This is great. And I just,
to
superb.
me, Johnson has taken Starscream as, that second in charge that is kind of dim-witted from the Generation 1, and he's turned him into a terrorist.
Yeah.
And it's so much fun to watch this different take on Starscream.
Yeah.
Now, I'll be honest, I haven't been reading Transformers over the last,
No, me
say,
neither.
5-10 years, so I don't know if this is the same Starscream that we've been getting in the other publications before Skybound has taken them over for the Energon universe. But my God, it's such a refreshing read that I can't wait for issue 4.
Yeah.
And Void
I mean,
Rivals
he-
is not that far behind either.
I'm
He's a
enjoying that as well.
sadistic megalomaniac at the end of the day, and
Yeah.
that's always been his character, and it's
Yeah.
really fun to watch.
Yeah.
Or read. rather.
I'm with you, man, Chris. I am slightly worried about when Daniel Warren Johnson steps off the yacht. His writing's still going to be there. but I
Yeah, to
love
be
his
fair,
art style,
like it's
you know.
all about the writing. I love his art. I really do. I mean, nobody does action sequences quite like Daniel Warren Johnson.
Yeah,
And I'll say this: the way he manages to reveal something is just brilliant to me. Like you turn a page and you'll be like, "Whoa!" Like the bit where Prime smashes into Starscream.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. Like,
stunning.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, just going to quickly jump to the chat. Fuzzy Holy Roll, I've mentioned this a few times, is worth picking up. I really enjoyed it. I've got that one, Fuzzy. I'm going to give that one a read. That looks really interesting as well. So yeah, worth checking that one out.
I've also got it, so I would like to join the conversation. once
Yeah,
I've
we'll
read
talk
it.
about that next week because I'm going to read it this week. Shiny. Is this the Transformers where they all get together when times are bad and go deer squishing? Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
That's issue 2.
Issue 2. Yeah, it's great. It's great fun. I mean, that scene for me was just phenomenal. I've never seen that before, but it makes perfect sense. The size of these things wandering around the countryside. Of course, they're going to step on stuff. It's great.
Well,
We've got
not
werewolf
just
punch.
not just that they stepped on stuff because of the size of them, but the fact that they're used to a world where everything is hard.
Yeah.
Is what he said. And he's like, "Oh, everything's soft there, here." Compared to So
It's a really, really brilliant observation that, as far as I know, nobody's ever made that
Yeah.
they would make that.
Cliffhanger as well.
It's crazy that nobody has made that delineation, but it makes for a wonderful flavor in that book.
We've got Werewolf by Lunchtime. Ooh, cough, cough, ooh. Getting too old for these early morning howls. Thank you very much for joining, bud. Always a pleasure to see you. Okay, guys, we're going to talk about what we've been buying. I'm going to start off. What we're going to do is just quickly show you some books that I'm going to put into the giveaway file, and then we'll start the giveaway hashtag for people to jump in on whilst you guys are showing off some bits and bobs. So, if you just give us a second to find the right button. Where's shite? I can't find my button. There I am. Right. So these are just a few books that we're going to put into the giveaway pile. I don't know what some of these are, but we've got a shiny. This is a foil cover swimsuit special by, what's the Green Lantern called? Who looks like a dog? Is it Nort or something?
Yeah, it's Nort. Yeah,
Nort.
with the G.
Yeah, so it's Nort swimsuit special, like I say, foil edition. So that's quite nice. So that'll go in. We've got a variant edition Black Panther #1. That's quite a nice cover. We've got a Miles Morales variant for issue 39, I believe.
Nice.
So that'll go in. This one I love. I was going to keep this, but this one's very nice. This is a Supergirl foil cover. I'm not sure what the issue is, but it's very, very sparkly and very, very sexy. So I like that one. That's very nice. And we'll throw in a key. So we've got Marvel .1. This is the first appearance of Kamala Khan and Miss Marvel. So we'll pop that one in there as well. So guys.
So what's the hashtag? Sorry.
So
Yeah, like-
so whilst we
I'm
are,
assuming that point one was a facsimile.
no.
Oh,
No,
that's original.
That's an original. Yeah, that's an
Oh,
original.
nice.
Yeah.
You
So
fancy.
hashtag free comics, nice and easy. Would one of you pop that in the chat for us, please, whilst I put these away? So hashtag free comics, get that in, and we will do a giveaway. All I ask of you, ladies and gents, is that you are signed up and subscribed to all of my colleagues on screen here. So please do make sure you go onto their channels and subscribe, and then stick hashtag free comics into the giveaway, and we'll do that in a few moments. So chaps, James, have you got anything you want to show off?
Yeah, if you could make me big because my controls aren't working at the moment. Yeah, there you go. I was at you know me, I like to go to my music gigs. So I was at one last week I really want to highlight. So this is like a new band kind of formed from a few solo artists, that some of which I'd been familiar with. But it's called Try Softer. So they're kind of, it's like an American guy, an Irish guy, and Italian guy, and they just kind of, it was a really intimate gig. There was like 15 seats probably.
Did they walk into a bar?
They did walk into a bar, yeah. They walked into a bar,
No.
sat down and played music. yeah. No, it was a really amazing night. Like the music was fantastic, and there's some really like emotional kind of moments to it. So it was a great show. So I'd highlight anybody kind of check them out. They've only done 2 shows now, so they've done Edinburgh and Dublin, and they haven't announced any more dates yet, but they'll probably be going around the UK. So if you want, if you want to have a nice night out, I recommend Try Softer. They're good.
Sounds very cool. Like that. Excellent.
What sort of music are we talking?
So one of them is kind of like hillbilly country kind of stuff. One of them's kind of soul kind of music. There's a bit of variety to it. So there's a lot of great ones. Like one of my favorite songs is from one of them. It's fantastic. So yeah, check it out.
Very cool. Sounds good. Sounds very good. Von Hoot, have you got anything you want to show off?
I do indeed. I took delivery of a few books today. First of all, like I'm cannibalizing my own content here, but I just want to show this stuff off. It's amazing. So, Izzy from Izzyverse NYC had a Black Friday art sale live stream, and one of the artists was actual Dracula, and I thought it would be awesome to get an actual Dracula from actual Dracula, and
Wow, look at that.
it's really cool. I love it.
That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome. He sent a couple of freebies, and there's another one as well. But I'm not going to show you everything. You have to tune in to find out the rest.
It's a teaser.
Teaser.
Then,
That's stunning.
yeah, it's really cool. He's an amazing artist. I highly recommended look at his IG as well as his YouTube channel, because he's a funny guy. So his videos are awesome, but like his art is really cool. Then I talked about this documentary a while ago, FPS.
Oh yeah.
This was from the Kickstarter version of it, but you can buy it now as well from their website, fpsdoc.com, I think. Don't quote me. But yeah, it came with a bunch of goodies as well. But this is I'm looking forward to this, because I've seen the documentary, but it's full of like special features as well, because you need more than a 4.5 hour documentary, don't you? So
Absolutely.
I'm excited for that.
That looks very cool.
And then also I've got some slabs.
Bloody hell.
Yeah,
they
there we
arrived.
go.
They arrived today.
Singles for our show.
So no, I'm not going to bore you with all of them. But this one, I didn't even remember buying. I got no memory of buying it whatsoever.
That's
I
an
wonder why.
interesting
I wonder why you
interrogation.
bought it.
Yeah,
wonder
who
why you
knows?
picked
Who
that one.
knows why? I think it's the red trade dress. It really.
It's like she's wearing a name tag.
Is there an autograph on there? Like,
I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. Oh,
Oh God. what a strange. Well,
Like a name tag.
yeah. Very cool.
Hello, my name is. I was
and
drawn by.
then also there's this one,
oh,
which this is a metal.
Filthy.
Yeah, it is a bit naughty. but it's PG, just.
What is
But yeah,
Patrick?
she hasn't seen it, honestly. It's a metal cover and it's stunning in real life. But the reason I got it is I'm sort of specking on it. It's the first appearance of a character called Dynamite. And I figure a company called Dynamite might have plans for a character called Dynamite. So I'm hoping that by getting the metal version, I'll be a millionaire next year or whatever.
Maybe she could cross over with Dynamite.
Yeah, you never know. And then also, finally, because I'm not going to bore you because there's a stack of these, but this one's pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
I like that.
Nice.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Ray
Very
Bradbury
cool.
stories. Nice.
It's a
books there.
1.5, but the cover itself looks great.
The cover looks great. Yeah.
I think when you're going back that far, grade doesn't really matter. It's just having one, So
I'm all
Especially
for
as
it.
long as it presents well. That's all.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
That's a stunner, mate. That's an absolute stunner.
yes.
Wells by Lunchtime is just saying Nosferatu is his favourite silent movie of all time, much better than any Mr. Bean Christmas special.
He's not wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not.
Mr. Bean
Very
is
cool.
the worst drivel that Rowan Atkinson's ever done, let alone.
Wow.
I
I'm
mean,
sure you have the audience for that kind of talk here, Rob.
It is,
No, look,
it is
I can say
worse
that.
stuff. To
I
be
can
fair,
say that because I enjoy Rowan Atkinson. I like several. Seen many properties, and Mr. Bean is the worst of the shit he's done. Then
I
Blue
agree
Line,
wholeheartedly.
much better. Blackadder, much better.
Blackadder's
Even
so
that move, his Johnny English stuff is better than Mr. Bean.
If you
I
want to
don't know.
see
We're
worse,
pushing our luck there.
I said
that's fine.
I love Johnny
agree.
English. I'm not going to disagree with that.
if you want to go worse than Mr. Bean, go and watch his B thing that he did. On,
I thought that I thought that was fun.
I lasted
like
one episode. I couldn't.
They're like 8 minutes a pop or something. Like they can't.
Yeah, that's too long.
He's much better when he's playing off of a straight man and he's doing the insult comedy and stuff than being just a silent dolt. Is not what he's best at.
I will say I do really like Mr. Bean's Holiday. That movie is a really well made movie, and it's
I like the original.
underseen and under credit.
The one where he wipes the face off of like a painting and he draws it back on is really funny. I like that one.
I mean, Rob, you're causing controversy. Yeah, we've been instructed. We'll have to shut the YouTube borders.
My personal opinion that
Hot
it
take,
is
man.
the worst of what he's done. I like the actor. I like his comedy. Don't particularly care for Mr. Bean.
Yeah,
That's it.
fair enough. Fair enough. Rob, have you got anything you want to show off? Mr. Bean #1 CGC?
How did you know?
Is there a Mr. Bean comic?
It's only a 9.6 though.
No. I only have one item to show off today. I picked it. Yeah. I mean, there's others I could, but this is enough.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to secure one of my grails, Golden Age Mystery in Space, issue #1. This is a huge book. It's
What's
a
the date
spicy
on it, Rob?
people. This is 1951. Yeah.
Wow.
And Rob, what's it say on the right side of that blue label there, my friend?
Oh, Christopher, thank you, Preston.
Chris, you're never off duty, Chris, are you?
Yes.
You're never off duty.
It is the
God's sakes,
first.
I got it written on a T-shirt. Okay.
It is the first appearance of the Knights of the Galaxy. This is a Gardner Fox and Robert Kaner stories with Carmine Infantino cover and art. But just absolute classic cover. This is not a book that is easy to come by. Mid-grade is not inexpensive. And I was super, super happy to pick it up. As a matter of fact, the guy who sold it to me has already regretted that he sold it to me because he had hoped to get an upgrade, but the upgrade he was looking for had already sold. And so now he doesn't have a copy and has to live with that.
Sucks to be him.
It sucks to be him.
Yeah, that's right. And of course, on the backside, saddle shoes.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, I've had a pair of those at so many times.
Tom McMahon saddle shoes for $7.95, y'all.
Very cool. Bad Bear says the right side says first appearance of Mr. Bean. Highland G, my history teacher is in Academy, was obsessed with Blackadder. Personally, I'm indifferent to his work. Blackadder goes forth as superb. Rob, that's a stunning book.
Season 1 is okay. 2, 3, and 4, fabulous. Absolute. Just
Rob knows his stuff. That's the way it works.
Yeah. Okay, Chris, just before we come to you, I just want to remind people, please, hashtag free comics, pop that in the chat, and we can win some free comic books. Thank you very much. Okay, Chris, have you got anything you want to show off, mate?
Sure. It sucks following DVH and Rob after those big books. My goodness. Just want to give a quiet shout out. Happy anniversary to Battlestar Galactica. I think it's a crying shame that magnificent series is not on any streaming service, at least here in Canada. It's a crying shame. However, I want to give a shout out.
Sorry, but I was just going to say that is a stunning sci-fi show. I mean, I absolutely adore that, but it always makes us think that it's, I think I mentioned on this before, it's a crying shame we've never had any more Buck Rogers either. Buck Rogers is a superb series that just seems to have vanished and disappeared, you know?
Yeah.
But big shout out to Battlestar.
I want to give kudos to my LCS owner, Chris from Red Rocket Comics. He's on YouTube as Son of Bruce. Some of you may or may not know him, but he knows I'm a big fan of Jenny Frison. And when he goes out to like antique malls trying to find stuff that maybe he can like find cheap and then bring back to his shop, he picked up this Jenny Frison cover of Ghost, and he just bought it for me and then tossed it in my pile. And I didn't realize that I actually didn't even pay it. He actually just gave it to me for free because he knows I'm a big fan of Jenny Frison. And I did not know that she did a cover for Ghost.
No,
and that it was published by Dark Horse. Now I heard a little bit about this series, but not that much because it is a little bit of an older book. But again, he continues to blow me away by just finding these older Frison books and just giving them to me for free, for my collection of Frison books.
So that's a blast from the past for me, the Ghost series, because when I first started going out with my then to be wife, she knew I was into comic books, so she kind of played the game and pretended to try and read comics. And Ghost was the book she picked up to become a comic book reader. And I think she collected 40 issues or so, and I'm not convinced she read any of them, but she bought them. But yeah, it used to be a tremendous series. I don't know if it's still out there. I don't know if it's still going.
I'm not aware. I don't know. But I do want to say that some people may or may not know that I am a hardcore thrash metal fan, and that I picked this up last month, but it still brings me joy that Exodus has a comic book. Now, I know this publisher, Opus, has done some other heavy metal bands and comic books. I think Slayer has had a comic book. But Exodus has been one of those bands that's been stuck to being just an opening band for like Slayer or Testament, or when the California thrash bands tour the world, Exodus is usually a part of it. And their primary songwriter, Gary Holt, was the sub guitarist for Slayer for the last couple of years that Slayer was still in existence. But yeah, the fact that Exodus has a comic book, I was just thrilled with. Oh, now I'll admit, it's a terrible book. It's not good at all. But if you're a fan of thrash metal like me, like it's worth picking up. And as a fan of the Bay Area thrash scene, I'm glad that one of the smaller bands that's still well known and still out there touring every year got a comic book. I thought that was pretty damn cool. So that's all I got, Pete. Like I said, it's tough to follow DVH and Rob when they had that stuff, right? Or when they had that stuff, and I'm coming with a Bay Area thrash band. No, I know Rob can appreciate the Bay Area because he's from there, but Exodus got a comic book. That's a good world we're in right now.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Okay, guys. I didn't realize you were into thrash metal, mind. That's I wouldn't have thought that. That's excellent. Really interesting.
Back when I used to
guys. Von Hoot, why are you brandishing a mask?
Oh, because Chris from Retro Rocket Comics got me this, which is one of my favorite gifts ever. A lucha mask. That's
very cool. I like that. Welf by Lunchtime just pointing out here, pert breasts, red dress will tell you did something wrong even in space, but even Mrs. Werewolf wakes up. Very cool. Right, last minute, ladies and gents. Hashtag free comics in the comments section. We'll get you into the competition. We've got 10 people entered at the moment, and what we'll do is, as usual, we'll do the spin, and then we'll pick out some free comic books for you. So going once, going twice, and we're off. So good luck, everybody. Excuse me. And our winner is Pad Bear. Congratulations, Pad Bear. Oh, James, I don't know if you were into it at the minute.
I would have given it away anyway, but
Bless you.
congratulations, Bad Bear.
Congratulations, Pad Bear. Well deserved, mate. Drop us a line on Instagram with your address and whatnot. I know I've got it, but send us it again, please, just to make sure.
Triple G had heart palpitations for a second when it paused on me, thinking I'm going to have to ship it to frickin' America.
I think Pad Bear's Australian from memory. I might be
I'm
wrong.
sorry. That is
might be
even
wrong.
worse. You would have wished it landed on me.
Or Canada.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe shipping from the UK to Australia is not as bad as it is here in the US. I don't know.
It's all right. It's all right. It works out. It works out. Okay, guys, let's give away some comic books. I'm gonna shamelessly steal Rob's usual technique. So we'll work our way down. Chris, you know how this works. Just tell us when to stop.
And stop.
And we'll take that one out. James.
Go second from the front.
Second from the front. So 1, 2. Dr. Von Hoot.
Stop.
Rob.
The last book.
The very last book. And then one from me. And we'll go here. Right. Oh, that's heavy. Okie dokie. So, Pad Bear, you will be getting a pack of the DC trading cards that we always give away. Nice. A copy of the Weeping Blade, which is done by a good friend of mine. Pad Bear, Australian. He's Welsh. It's near. It's near. I mean, you know what I mean? The accents are very similar. That's the issue. You know. So you get a copy of the Weeping Blade, which is a fantastic little short comic.
Wow. I've seen a lot of insults to the Welsh, but never calling them Australian.
Right. So the books you're going to get, bud, are all good. You've got a copy of Digital issue number 4. This is by our good friend Rich Watkin. Really, really nice book. Really nice book. So, yeah, that's a good one. We have got Dark Avengers number 1. Can't remember. I think that might be a minor key. That's the first team up of the Dark Avengers. So that's the the team led by Norman Osborn. Nice little book. We have got shiny boobies. We've got a Harley Quinn foil cover. Don't know what issue the comic is, but that's quite nice.
That's a nice cover, man.
Nice,
that's really good. Yeah.
Look at that. That's it's
like
very
Tracy
nice.
Lords.
Yeah, she's healthy. We've got one of those, a Gleason.
First print,
isn't it?
Yeah, very
first
nice.
Print.
Yep.
SpiderMan 55. So
Don't see that every
Spider-Man
day.
print. Yeah, so that's a nice one. I got into these Gleasons, to be honest. There's some nice books there. And then last but not least, we have got one of the ones I've just put in. So you've got a Black Panther variant cover, issue number 1. So quite nice.
Gorgeous cover.
Yeah.
Tremendous books.
Drop us a line, mate, and we'll make sure they'll get those sent to Australia and then via Australia. You can pick them up in Australia. All right. Okay. Right, chaps. So let us now crack on with what you've been watching. So we're going to talk a little bit about some of the shows and the trailers and things we've been watching recently. We're going to start off with this. Did you guys get a chance to see the trailer for the next Lord of the Rings series coming out in not
What
Lord
did
of
you
the Rings,
say?
sorry, not Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones. It's the same thing, isn't it?
Of course.
Coming out mid next year. I'm excited for this. What do you guys think of this one? James, I know you're a big fan. What did you think?
I cannot wait. I think it's gonna be amazing. Like the first season was fantastic. Really, I think blew expectations out of the water. Cast are phenomenal in it. Like that was the whole first season's prelude. This is like the start of it. You know, this is where the shit goes down. So yeah, we have to. I've recognized some kind of what some sequences in the trailer are. So like I'm really stoked. I'm afraid to talk too much in case I give something away. So
obviously you've read the books, and I know Chris, I think you've read the books as well, haven't you? You've read some of it.
I've gone through them all. I just got 5 words for you. Dance of the Dragons, baby. Let's go. Like I can't wait.
Yeah, I can't wait for this. I mean, I absolutely loved the first season. I think there was all that hesitation about and then he said Lord of the Rings again. You know, all that hesitation about can they emulate the success of Game of Thrones? For me, I dare say it was better than some of the Game of Thrones. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought some of the performances were just phenomenal. Rob, is this a series you managed to catch up on?
Oh God, no.
No, not your cup of tea. No space helmets for you.
I'm not much of a sword and fantasy kind of guy. I did watch like the first couple seasons of Game of Thrones, and it was fine, but I just kind of stopped watching it, and I don't miss it, and I don't feel any feeling towards this. I watched the trailer, and whatever.
I mean, I think, I'm into fantasy and all that kind of stuff, and in this kind of wheelhouse, as it were. So for me, this had everything. And like I say, some of the performances. Is it Paddy Constantine?
Paddy Considine's excellent. Matt Smith
God.
Matt Smith is just so cool in it as well.
What about you, Von Hoot? Is this something you're looking forward to?
I am, yeah. The trouble I found with House of Dragons was there weren't enough old white men talking about politics, which I really missed. Because that was what Game of Thrones spent an awful lot of time doing. But yeah, House of Dragons was a lot of fun because it didn't have that in it. And,
what if they got Sean Connery to come voice one of the dragons?
Oh, Dragonheart, one of my favourite movies. Love that movie. Absolutely love it. Yeah. Have you seen that one, guy? Have you all seen Dragonheart?
Yes.
Stunning.
Absolutely.
I have.
I've never seen Dragonheart. I mean, it's one of these ones that is fantastic in my head. But maybe if I go back and rewatch it, it might not be. But yeah. Yeah, Fuzzy's saying he's enjoyed Game of Thrones. Don't know if I need more. You do, Fuzzy. Just give it a go, mate. Give it a go. See what you think.
It is a shame. Like, I know quite a few people who loved Game of Thrones and got so burned by the last season that they just won't watch this, and it's a shame because it's
that's a shame because it's way better than the ending of Game of Thrones.
Oh, this is incredible.
Yeah, but the beginning of Game of Thrones was better than the end of Game of Thrones too. So
that's true.
True.
Well, this is completed though. Like, this is written though.
Yeah.
Or the Dance of the Dragons is finished.
Yeah. Good stuff. This was interesting. I quite like the DC animated universe. So this is the trailer for Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1. Not quite what I was expecting, but it was interesting nonetheless. Do you guys manage to catch this one?
I watched it. Yeah, did the homework.
Okay. What did you think of it, Rob?
Meh. I've not been so. Look, I know that there's a lot of people who rave about the DC animated universe. I've been, for the most part, there's a few hits, but for the most part, I've not seen what so many other people see with them, and this trailer doesn't have enough in it to get me excited about anything more. It's like, okay, great, you're going to do it in Crisis on Infinite Earths in 3 different parts. Okay. So what?
Yeah. I mean, I have to say the trailer didn't necessarily blow us away. It didn't excite us as I would hoped it would.
Yeah.
What do the rest of you guys think?
Couldn't give a shit. Like, to be honest, like Rob, I hear all the time how great DC animated stuff is. I know there is a lot of great stuff there, but I watched this and I just had no interest in watching it at all. Like,
it was a bad trailer, if you ask me. I am quite a big fan of the DC animated stuff, but I will say that there has been dwindling returns quite often in the more recent ones, and it's not like they're bad. They're just okay. They're good. Like, they're worth a watch maybe once, but I don't go back to them, especially when they all start to interconnect and carry on like because everything has to be a universe. That kind of thing. It was much better when it was like The Dark Knight Returns, which I think is one of the best animated movies. Cool. Like, it's fantastic. And there are a few like that. Year One, I watch all the time. Yeah. But again, that was a while ago, and they're sort of dining out on that being great. And this trailer was not well made, and the animation it doesn't excite me at all, which is a problem, really, when you're making animation. I mean, you should be drawn to it. I'll watch it. I'll buy it even. I'm almost certain to, but like, I don't have high hopes. to be
You
honest.
see, I have to be honest, I don't think I've bought a DC animated movie in a long time. I tend to just wait for them to come onto whatever streaming platform they come onto. What about you, Chris? Is this something that floats your boat?
It's funny that I have such a shared opinion with everyone else that's spoken before me here. I kind of feel for me, and I'm just kind of batting 500 with the DC animated stuff. The Killing Joke really left a sour taste in my mouth just because he added so much to it, and for me, it's kind of spiraled downwards after that movie, just because I hold the Killing Joke as like top 3 comic book stories that have ever been told. But this, to me, like, it's someone that realizes that Crisis on Infinite Earth is like the main DC storyline of all. Like everything is spun off after that 80s crossover event.
Yeah.
This just seemed rushed, and whoever put the trailer together like didn't read any of the comic books. Like I don't really know what they're doing here. I don't think that this needs to be three parts. And again, I it's left a taste in my mouth that they're going to do to Crisis on Infinite Earth.
I mean,
The story, they're going to do what they did to The Killing Joke, that story, and turn that into a movie and just expand on it unnecessarily. So
I think they're almost certainly going to expand on it. If they're doing 3 movies and they're showing all that in this trailer, like it's going to be quite different. Now,
Hang on, there's 3 of them.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah.
to be fair, Murder World, which I think was it Murder World? Whatever the last one was, that actually surprised me on how good it was, and it really took me by surprise. So I'd recommend going back to that one if anybody's vaguely interested, because it sort of plays as like an anthology movie rather than a cohesive narrative that's in one form. I do admire the team doing it, so maybe it will be good, but that trailer doesn't sell it at all.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I think you're absolutely right, Chris, as well. I kind of try to blank out Killing Joke because I can't get my head over when you've got such well-known source material, which is so well regarded, and they throw in just bullshit like the whole relationship with Bruce Wayne and Barbara Gordon.
And creepy, and it's not even like a good one. It's like you throw in like the creepiest of stuff, like
which never happened.
But you wonder where.
Forget whether it did or not. It is like the worst. I mean, like, hey, you're good friends with this guy. Why don't you shag his daughter? And who's like,
no wonder Alan Moore hates.
You kind of expect it, don't you? Yeah. It's been going around for a while, but I spotted something about Alan Moore. Came up on my feed the other day because he's done a few interviews over the last year or so. And I'm presuming it's the same over your neck of the woods. Whenever you get an interview, they've got the kind of the bar underneath where it says Alan Moore, whoever. And his blurb was Alan Moore, comic book writer, wizard, Rasputin impersonator. Tremendous. I love it. But yeah, this doesn't necessarily excite me, so I won't be rushing to pick it up, I have to say. And it looks like a lot of the guys in the comments are absolutely agreeing. Fuzzy, sounds like a tax write-off in the making. Highland G, I used to enjoy the standalone DC animated movies, but the split in section thing and added in stuff to older stories has really put me off. Yeah, I don't think, as comic book nerds, we ask much, which is just be true to the stories. If you've got a classic story, it's a classic for a reason. Don't screw with it. Just give with that, It's strange.
It all goes back to that Kevin Smith story about the Superman movie he was supposed to write, and the producer being like, we need him never to fly. Never want to see him in the suit.
Put a giant spider in it.
Fights a giant spider in the third act. Yeah. Like it's for some reason Hollywood are willing to take an IP, but they must make it their own, no matter what. Yeah. And this doesn't help anybody.
It's like they don't have faith in the source material, even though it's lasted for so long and it's so.
They just want the audience that'll automatically come see it because of the name. Yeah. So the built-in audience, and then they'll do something else.
It just gets bastardized.
They know best. Everybody knows best.
Yeah. Well, they have metrics that tell them that this is what audiences wanted to see. Forget what you think you want to see. We have the metrics.
Fuzzy, always you're right, Fuzzy. I don't think comic nerds ask for much. You're absolutely right. That's bollocks. We ask for everything. You're right.
That is indeed like
But universally, when it comes to movies, I think most comic fans say, "Hey, look, you know what this is? This comic book, whichever comic book I pick up, this is a storyboard.
Yeah.
It's already been done for you.
Yeah.
Just shoot the
Just go with
storyboard."
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right, Rob. Absolutely right. Okay, James T. Keegan, I'm going to let you take this one on. Talk to her about this.
Righto. So the Game Awards were on the other night, and this was kind of the big surprise for me, anyway. The big surprise reveal, the one that I'm most excited about. So we're getting a Blade video game. So this is from Arcane, who is the studio that did Dishonored. I don't know if you ever heard of that. It's a first-person kind of game, and Deathloop, which came out a couple years ago to like massive critical acclaim, like 10 out of 10. So it's a top-tier studio. So they're making this. It's a third-person game. So they usually do first-person. It's going to be third-person. It's set in Paris, and I think it's going to be kind of Arkham City-esque. Like Paris has been taken over by vampires, so it's been quarantined off. I'm stoked for this. I can't wait. I love the trailer. I think the trailer is really cool. Like it's just a good tone piece. But I'm excited that like a character other than just your Spider-Man and Wolverine is getting a game. You know, I think that's really great to see. So I'm stoked about this.
Yeah, I think this looks impressive. I enjoyed the trailer. The trailer was very different. So yeah,
I enjoyed the trailer quite a bit, but I reserve the right to be like completely bored with it if the gameplay isn't good. Yeah, like because
it's Arcane. I'm confident it's going to be excellent.
There's no, but like because the trailer is just a
cinematic
teaser cutscene.
Rob's looking very confused. What's the matter, Rob?
Well, I am fine with the character getting his video game here. So, what trailer did you guys watch that compared to what I watched? I watched a man in a barber shop start to get a shave, and that was about it. And I'm not seeing what gets me all excited about a man getting a shave.
It's a tone piece.
It was a wet shave, Rob. It was a wet shave. I mean, that's the danger involved in that.
It was a dry shave.
Well, you know, it was a cutthroat razor and everything. It was.
I get it was a single blade, traditional old school straight blade razor. He's getting a dry shave, but I mean, one pass and it's like, oh hey, I don't.
I mean, now Rob mentions it. I'm turning around on it.
Okay, well, I'll justify it then, because
you fickle mole, you.
So I'm thinking about it. I'm like, you're right. That was nothing. Why did they do that?
Right. when you know, like clicking on it, this is a Blade game. Fair. This was at an award show where the trailer starts and you don't know what it is. And so it was, as I was watching it, it clicked for me. Oh my God! This is great. And then Marvel comes up.
Then okay, I get that because he cuts his finger on the blade and wipes it on the towel, and he said, and then you get the silhouette of the fangs when he says "lock up," you know. But again, it's still. I'm just like, oh, this shows me nothing of this. I'm like, oh, what are you guys babbling about? That this is a great trailer because I'm not getting anything that makes me want to go play the game.
Well, it's more great that's been announced. I think
I like the concept that yes. Taking this character and playing in a world that's overrun by vampires, all sorts of stuff. I can see where that could be a fun game to do, and it's good to do a character that has not been overly done in the MCU, but has a good following and stuff. And as a teaser to potentially, you're talking about using him in the MCU here at some point. So now you get to build more ahead of time, use the video game to build more audience excitement about a character ahead of the movie launch. That's all brilliant.
Yeah.
The trailer, as it stands, if I was just going on YouTube and watching it, it's just not.
Didn't excite you.
That's fair. We'll get gameplay in the next. I'd imagine I'd say it'll be out in 2 years.
I've changed my mind. I want it to be terrible. Okay. It's going to be terrible. And hopefully the movie is terrible because it's just occurred to me I really want to get the first appearance of Blade, and this is going to make it so much difficult.
Very fair. It has shut down the way. So Phil, it's Arcane, so Deathloop, Dishonored. It's also being published by Bethesda, which unfortunately means it's probably not going to be on PlayStation. It's going to be Xbox and PC only. So I'm going to have to buy an Xbox for this fucking thing. So I kind of hope it's bad too. So I don't have to do that, but I will because I'm certain this is going to be a great game.
Was there anything else from the Game Awards that you wanted to mention? It kind of passed me by. Chris?
I thought it was good until it ended. I thought it was like, oh, we got a 30-second trailer. Like we're getting into it. Okay, now the barber's nervous because he cut his sand and he knows that he's shaving blade. But they like talk about cliffhanger. But again, I'm aware of the house that it's coming from. So I'm with James that I have faith in this. And like my son sent me the link to it. He's like, Dad, I'm excited for this one. I'm like, oh, and that's how I was introduced to it too. And but yeah, I thought it looked really cool. I wish they would have given us at least a 60-second or a 90-second.
Yeah. So
but I get that all it was
one
was
shot
just
of
a
gameplay.
teaser. Yeah, I thought it was just I realized what it was. That was literally just a teaser trailer in the middle of an award show. But it was. I'm hoping that we have something by Comic-Con next year.
Yeah, that would be cool. Was there any other excitement at the awards show? I didn't see any of it.
Spider-Man
I forget a lot of it. Spider-Man didn't win.
Yeah,
Was nominated for
Spider-Man
7
lost.
awards and didn't win a single thing. I think Baldur's Gate won Best Game, Alan Wake 2 won Best Narrative, and Direction, I think. So like it was kind of uneventful. To be honest, a lot of people are annoyed because it's sort of like turned more into just a games showcase, and like it was 3 hours long, but only 30 minutes was dedicated to awards. When people went up to accept awards, they like had less than 40 seconds to talk, and then the music would start playing to like wrap it up.
That's awful.
So there's a variety of shit like that. And I've never really liked the Game Awards. I think it's just remove the facade that this is about.
It doesn't hold a candle to the AVNs. You're right. I mean,
of course.
True great
Wow.
award show.
Wow.
Okay, chaps. Next one. Now this one's just for Fuzzy because I know he loves a bit of Zilla action.
oh, I meant to
So-
say the Avian Awards.
Avian Awards. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Of course,
to say.
of course.
You guys
Yeah.
misheard. You misheard what I said. Yeah.
Yeah. This is the next Godzilla and Kong movie. We've got the full trailer for that with King Kong with pink glowy bits and Godzilla with mechanical fists.
No,
I think you have
other
that
way around.
backwards
Other
there.
way around.
Other way around. Other way around. Other way
So
around.
is the lizard.
Yeah. Which one's
King
the
Kong
monkey?
is the ape.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
This was a trailer which, it was much like the other trailers for Kong versus Godzilla and all that kind of stuff.
I don't know. It
looks-
gave me pink glowy bits. It was great.
I bet I don't want to talk about your pink
okay.
glowy bits. So enough of those at Thought Bubble. You know what? This is not kind of hard thinking art. This is big monsters hitting each other, explosions and bangs. I will go and see this with my son, and I know we'll sit and we'll thoroughly enjoy it. What did you guys think of the trailer? Did it excite you at all, or is this the kind of film you'd go and see?
Absolutely. Can't wait for this. It's gonna be the last one was such a surprise, like excellent movie, just like fun, stupid, silly, not boring like I think a lot of them have
word,
been.
isn't it? It's got to be fun.
Yeah.
Like it needs to make like a little bit of sense and be fun. And I'm there.
I like the Ginger Kong. I think that's cool. Looks like a cool villain. There's gonna be some cool fight scenes. I'm not a fan of the pink light up things. I don't know. It screams action figure. I think that's why they changed it. It's just for the sake of
another
I mean,
fun
that
guy.
is why.
And Kong wearing like did he lose an arm and he has like a robot glove or something like that? I don't know.
It's a
strange.
brace.
It's the Infinity Gauntlet.
It
just like,
you say that, Chris. I've seen some great memes of these
And,
guys
like,
running
the shield and the hammer.
Sure, the hammer.
He got into an argument with Godzilla and snapped him pink.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I'm a hardcore Godzilla fan, like right from childhood, and it's hard for me to like poo-poo anything Godzilla. I just wish they would have given us that little bit of teaser to why Godzilla has the pink fins when he's charging up. That's the one thing I felt that was
we
just
do need
kinda
a
missing.
reason for it,
They
or
said
else
it.
it'll annoy the crap out of me.
They said evolve.
I think like a sharp red would have looked better though than pink.
I mean, anything could have been better. That's not the point. Like you could have like a yellow. That would have been weird and cool. Like, but pink's fine. I don't care.
Yeah,
like
it'll
it doesn't
be
matter. Like as long as it's a giant Godzilla that makes the noise, has the music, I'll be fine.
I'm with you, Von Hoot. I'll go and I'll, dare I say, switch my brain off and just enjoy the ride for a bit. Now, I haven't got a slide for it, but
I get to have a dissenting opinion here.
All right. Okay. Okay.
I do like Fuzzy Dunlop. There's an unnecessary large animal buddy film. Look, you know what? I watched it and I watched it wanting to be just blown away by it. And here's where everyone can attack me, and that's fine. And I've just realized that I think I've outgrown this franchise.
Right.
I
Yeah.
really, really enjoyed it as a kid, but over the past several years, as we've continued to see new iterations, no matter how good they've been, I've just don't get excited about this franchise anymore. And I want to watch the old classic King Kong or something maybe, but I mean, I don't know. This just it's just not exciting me much.
I
And
think that's completely fair. And to be clear to what I said, I don't think it actually looks very good. Like, but I'll just it'll be fun. Like that's all that matters. But I could totally see how someone could not be bothered by it at the same time.
Sorry, Chris. You were going to say something?
The serious tone of the two recent Godzilla solo movies, where with San Francisco and then Boston.
Yeah.
That serious tone was really lost in Godzilla Kong, and you can tell that it's not here with this one at all. It's
absolutely.
It's a buddy cop movie at best. Tom Hanks and his pet dog kind of thing. I get that, but I just wish they would have given us that little bit of flavor why we have Godzilla cinnamon version kind of thing. But
yeah, and it's interesting. I don't know if you guys have been watching Monarch. I haven't got a slide for it. But I was talking to James earlier. Are you up to speed, Chris? Have you seen the recent episode?
Mm-hmm.
Bored the hell out of me, I have to say.
Yeah, it was too much family dynamic, not enough monsters.
I mean, I don't think there was any. There was a couple of flashbacks in the latest episode.
Flashbacks, you're right.
But it just did, It was quite irritated that it was sad.
Yeah. Where in the world is their dad? That's about it.
Yeah. How many Godzilla films, shows, and comics can they throw at us at once? Overkill.
It's just timing, isn't it? Like, I don't know if it was intentional that. Well, they obviously put the trailer out now because -1 is out, and what's the? There's another Godzilla. Oh well, yeah, the show.
Thank you so much, Werewolf by Lunchtime. That's absolutely tremendous of you. Thank you. I really do appreciate that. And I keep saying it every week. I need to follow the Rob Fat Stacks.
Oh, I borrowed that from somebody else. Don't get me wrong.
I need to get some things in. Yeah.
Little jingle.
DJ
jingle. I need a little jingle or something. Thank you.
Look, DJ Links did it with silhouetted female dancers. I
am available for dance routines.
We could have a Dr. Von Hoot kind of just smooch across the screen.
We need an animated Dr. Von Hoot, though. That would be even better.
Yeah. That's what I use on my channel is members from the community dancing.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
So seriously,
video.
Seriously, well, final sharing. I really do appreciate that. And like I said before, any funds that we're raising the channel will go to mental health charities. So I do appreciate that. It's much appreciated. Okay, guys. Next, James, you wanted to briefly touch on this.
Yeah, finally got around to watching Gen V, and I absolutely loved it. Every second of it, it's phenomenal. I think the new cast is incredible. There's some really gross shit in this. I think the main one's powers, the blood powers, are just disgusting, but just really well used.
Have the rest of you guys seen it yet?
Nobody.
No,
I've seen it.
I know.
I mean, there's a scene there's a scene where her powers are basically to manipulate blood. And there's a gentleman's parts involved. And my God, I have never winced so much sat watching a TV program.
There's also there's a sex scene involving a person that goes tiny, which I thought was hysterical as well. She was actually my favorite character in the whole thing. I thought she was amazing. Like really.
So she uses blood magic. I've seen that in Doctor Who. Thanks.
Yeah.
Also, I think the switching character was amazingly done. Like I think that could have gone wrong so easily, but I think you really buy that it's the same person. I think that was excellent.
Yeah, that is very true. I thought this was a fantastic series, James. I'm glad you caught up with it, guys. I'd recommend you try and catch it if you can. If
you like The Boys,
yes,
you love it. It is The Boys, effectively.
If that is your kind of humor / entertainment, if you like gratuitousness, then it's for you. But otherwise, just don't.
I think I'm just becoming an old curmudgeon these days because I'm finding I'm just not enjoying a lot of this stuff.
I think, I mean, we've talked about The Boys before, Rob, with you, and I think, am I right in saying you saw season 2, but you haven't seen, sorry, you saw
I
season
saw
1.
season 1.
You
and
haven't
that-
seen 2.
Yeah, and I just kind of like, oh, I saw it.
Do you know what? Season 2 is okay, but it's
2 is
not the
great
best.
as well, Peter. What are you talking about?
No, season
Two's
3
excellent.
swear
Two's
it
great.
out. Season
Season
2
3 is the best
Two
one,
is
though.
two is
Phenomenal.
Marmite, because I also
Yeah.
know people that don't like 2.
I love
Yeah.
season 2. Like, yeah, the whole.
I don't know. I'm just like I said, I'm getting old. I just want to watch the news and watch wrestling.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and I completely get that as well. I think
mean,
it's,
Put on
unless it
low blood
really appeals to you, then why
I've got-
put yourself
Sit
through
down
it?
and
Like,
fall asleep in my recliner.
Yeah,
I was
Fuzzy-
watching that. Put the remote down.
Fuzzy's bang on. The Muppet scene is amazing. I've got this vision of you, Rob, at home in your slippers and your recliner, just kind of every now and then getting up from your chair, stretching, and going outside to throw a cow on the barbecue or something like that, basting it for a bit, and then just wandering back inside.
Sometimes that happens. Yeah.
I mean,
Not
to be
far off.
fair, that's a tremendous life. I could quite do that.
Yeah.
So, well, speaking of The Boys, we've got the trailer for the next season of The Boys. I just want to say that I think Anthony Starr is absolutely phenomenal. This guy is owning this role, just 100%.
he has the whole franchise on his back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because if he's not in it, then I'm probably out sooner or later.
Honestly, yeah,
Right.
he's their biggest asset, 100%. And
Yeah.
yeah, if he were to die in a season, some people are speculating he's going to die in this one. You'll lose a lot of people. I think.
Yeah,
Shouldn't he have already been dead? Or what?
Yeah, well, yeah. According to the comics, Homelander should have been gone a while ago.
Mm.
However, have you guys seen the outtakes? Because this is filmed in Toronto, and Anthony Starr is just
What
one of
country's
those guys that's
Toronto
just-
in, Chris?
Yeah.
Tell us.
So he's just walking around downtown Toronto all the time. People come up to me. He's very, very, very nice to people. But have you guys seen the outtakes where they're lifting him up in the air?
Fucking shit. Fucking what I fucking do this.
That is so enjoyable. Fuck off.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
great.
he's
Well
a treasure. Oh, he's just fantastic.
Yeah.
Pat Bear saying he's great in The Boys, but he's utterly amazing in Banshee.
I've heard
Not
that
a
as well.
series I've watched.
I've heard
great things.
incredible things about it. Yeah.
Yeah, so this trailer really got me going. I'm looking forward to the next season of Boys. Can't wait to get stuck into that one. James. Now you
Yes,
did
yes.
a toy show with me on Monday,
I did.
and the trailer hadn't dropped yet. But
It leaked an hour later.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
waxing lyrical about this is going to be the biggest thing ever. And I have to say, James, not being a Grand Theft Auto fan, I sat here thinking, what a load of shite. It looks cack. And then the trailer dropped, and you were absolutely right, weren't you?
Yeah, so, I mean, of course. Well, you act surprised, Peter. Of course, I was right. It's Grand Theft Auto. It's going to be like Grand Theft Auto 5. This is Grand Theft Auto 6 now. Grand Theft Auto 5 is the highest grossing entertainment product of all time. So this is going to be like the most watched trailer, the biggest thing to ever happen until the next one comes out. So yeah, it's the trailer's awesome. Like I love it. I know you said like there's I don't get what the fuss is about, but like
Listen,
I think,
I'm just not into this series. Do you know
yeah,
what I mean?
I just think when you are familiar with what Grand Theft Auto is, that trailer shows a lot to you. It shows like crowd density at the in the city and at the beach. This is the playground that you're going to be getting to explore, when it comes out. So I like the tone of it. I like the two main characters look really interesting. I love the whole playing as a woman. I think that's going to be really interesting in the games. The social media aspect is fascinating as well, like and how that's going to be implemented into the gameplay. So yeah, it's I love it. Can't wait.
I suspect that you and Chris might be of like minds. I think Chris might be looking forward to this, but I think me and Rob are probably on the same page with this.
This is not. I don't know. Again, here's a trailer that's dropped, and I'm not seeing anything that reminds me of any of the previous Grand Theft Autos. Granted, I was never the hugest of Grand Theft Auto guys. I remember getting copies of it a couple times, maybe 2 or San Andreas and stuff, and playing it on my PC. Just because everybody was talking about it, going like, okay, this is fun for a few moments, but I got bored with it very, very fast. I didn't understand what the appeal was, and this trailer just really, again, it was more. I was like, "This, what is the game? Is this just we're gonna have a bunch of cut story scenes? Is this what's the gameplay? Is this just gonna be a more, hey, let's go around and carjack more people, and it's like, and it's, I don't know. It just, again, I guess I'm old and cranky these days.
Yeah, I think so. And it's a tone piece, you know. Like that's the thing. It's.
I have to say, I'm going to come to Chris in a second. I have to say, I'm probably along with Rob, and James, you're going to totally disagree with this, but I kind of morally have something of an issue with this game.
Oh, you're one of them.
I'm one of them. I'm one of them.
Gosh, go on. Justify this statement now. What's wrong with? Why it's killing the youth? Is it?
Well, yeah, but it's about stealing and drug running and hiring hookers, and it's morally...
No, it's not about hiring hookers, Peter. It's you can hire a hooker.
It's about beating the hookers.
If you want to, the game never makes you do that.
All right.
It's about choice. You can do that in real life as well, you know.
What do you think, Chris? Is this a kind of game that sits well with the Canadian sensibilities? Is this something that you guys like?
Look, I would love to have a palm tree in my country, so I just quietly admire the setting of the game.
Yeah.
No, I get where everyone's like, those that don't like it, and if you're gonna rip apart and reduce it down to its basic level, then what are we doing here all entirely? But no, I like. Aesthetically, this is just a beautiful game, but I just hope that it's not just modern day Vice City. I hope that it's different from that way. That was the one thing I took from it. It's like, I kind of feel like I've seen all this before, but now it's just 2023. It's not back. It's not back in the day. It's not the 80s anymore, but it's so beautiful to look at. Like, I think that the beauty of the game, a lot of people, it's just lost on the people. Like, if you look at the sky tones, like even here, just in this ad right here, if you look at the tones, you can almost tell what time of the day it is down to the hour. It's just a beautiful game to look at that way, just from the trailer alone. And that's the kind of thing that really caught me off guard, is I found myself watching that. So I rewatched it one more time to see, okay, like what Rob mentioned, is this just going to be a cutaway game? But but we know it's not. Grand Theft Auto is.
Grand Theft Auto. It's a staple,
legendary.
monumental.
It's just legendary.
I like what you say, but my issue is I have seen a lot of game trailers that are designed for the purpose of being a trailer for the game and are not representative of what you get in the game from a graphics standpoint or anything else. So art pieces like this that are done, or cinematic, I cannot take that and assume that that's what I'm going to get inside the game. I need to see actual game footage, which can be completely and utterly different.
Do you know, like a bit of foreplay, Rob? You know, like this is the nipple tweaking right now, right? That's where we're at. They're not ready to show us the game yet. We'll see it eventually.
Yeah.
This is the tone piece.
Sometimes when people tweak your nipples, it just doesn't do it for you.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Yeah.
What do you think, Von Hoot? Are you into nipple twisting? I mean, are you into the game?
I mean, they're two very different things.
How many nipples does a mole have? No, sorry, we'll leave that. I don't want to know. Know.
How about if they tweak your nickels?
I think the thing to bear in mind is, cinematically, the other GTA games have always pretty well represented what you get in game, just turning the camera and controlling the camera. Like, there isn't a vast difference between a cutscene in GTA 5 than there is to walking around in GTA 5.
They're in engine, so it's the same
yeah, so it's pretty much gonna look that good, which to me is astonishing. And I differ from Chris in so much as I hope it is just Vice City. I don't care about anything other than that, really, because Vice City was an astonishing game. And if you can tie it up so it looks that good, then I'm in. I'm like, that trailer looks so good that I started playing GTA 5 yesterday, even though I've had it for like 3 years.
Yeah, I'm playing
I just had it on my hard disk and not touched it, and now, I'm in.
I guess that's good that it's got you intrigued to go back to the games. And I guess, as I said on the show a while ago, I don't remember playing these games, so I'm not probably the target.
Really?
Audience.
Wow.
I honestly can't remember, to be honest. I probably have at some point, but it's not sticking in my mind for whatever reason.
What even GTA like 1 and 2?
I don't think so. I don't think, but that would
They
that's a long
were
time
huge
ago,
when I was at school, and you're not that much older than me. Like it
Yeah.
should be like
Yeah.
I would think that was a crossover.
1 in 70 people in the world have played Grand Theft Auto 5, which is kind of insane. Like that's just an
That's insane.
statistic. Yeah.
Like, the statistics.
So
are mad.
69 out of 70 people have not got it.
Yeah, but
1 in
that's
70.
still pretty good.
James's eyes.
1 in
are at the
70.
ceiling.
What's my maths wrong here? Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, it was something like
So the majority of people haven't played the
because
game.
more than
Got
100
it.
million have played it, and we've got 7 to 8 billion people. So that's why that was where my maths is coming from.
Let's,
So most of the people on the planet haven't played this game. Got it.
Most of them don't have electricity, Rob. It's a big world, you know. Some of us don't have smokers in the
Or
backyard.
running water. Like, come on.
I'm just trying to figure out where exactly he's going with his stats, what he's trying to improve. That's all.
Okay, chaps. Let's leave it. That was really interesting chat, guys. So, rounding up the end of the show, guys, just want to mention a few things. First of all, I've got a couple of videos out at the moment. Got a toy market hunt that myself and James went on a few weeks ago. That video's out now. I've recently picked up this 1/6 scale Doom Monarch figure, which is from a third party S-Hero, and it's got some issues, but I quite like it. And today I put out a video about an interview I did with an Australian comic book creator, Max, who's done a book called Stellar Lands. So that's an interesting video. And you can find us over on Triple G Comics at the usual places. Monday night, we've got our MCU Phase 3 Best and Worst Scenes. That covers a lot of movies. So myself, James and Efren will be talking about that. That's going to be an interesting one. So please do check that out on Monday night. James, One Good Scare. What's happening on One Good Scare?
Yeah, so we have our newest episode of I'll Be Right Back is out yesterday, so that's on Silent Night, Deadly Night. So that was a really interesting movie
That's
to
a
talk
classic.
about.
I love it. It's amazing.
I was blown away, actually. Both of us were. We were surprised how much we liked it. So that was last week. We'll have One Good Scare live on Friday. There'll be like a standalone video about the Scream kind of drama up in the next couple of days as well, and we'll have some shorts. I also really want to highlight, Peter, your Don't Scream video, because I don't think I've ever laughed as hard in my life. That video should have 100 million views. It's
That was good. That should have gone viral. I watched that.
Absolutely hysterical. The whole like, I'm a hard Geordie lad, you're not going to scare me, and then instantly like, I was
So for the
to
guys
check
who
that
haven't
out.
seen it, this is a computer game that you play in the dark, but it's linked to your microphone. So if you scream or make a noise, you die. So you've got to kind of creep around, and then there's things jump out at you and things run past you and stuff. And I literally shit my pants repeatedly. It's horrendous. But yeah, it's good for
check that out. It's an amazing video. So yeah.
Lovely. Thank you very much, James. Chris, what have I got coming up on your channel?
Well, in less than 60 seconds, I'll be releasing my latest video where I take a look back at the week for the top 10 highest selling graded comic books on eBay. Like I mentioned on Rob's show a little while ago, there's a couple big surprise books that turned into some big money this past week on eBay. And this Wednesday will be Show Us What You Got, where I go live on New Comic Book Day with an open invitation to anyone to come on the panel to show what books they picked up recently for New Comic Book Day, or just for
Love
their
that
PC
show.
in general.
Everybody should watch it.
Thank you,
good
DBH. But thanks,
It's
Pete.
grateful. Yeah. Lovely. Thank you very much, Chris. Dr. Von Hoot, what have you got coming up on your channel, sir?
Well, I'm going to be on Tony's show tonight. That'll be midnight our time,
Midnight,
I think. Yeah, I don't know what it is over there. And the topic, I think, is best weapons in comic books.
Oh.
Which is intriguing.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about it at all. So
Molyneux. You can have Molyneux.
Skateboard.
Skateboard. Yeah.
Ion
I
cannon.
like that, yeah.
Prime's ion
Adamantium
cannon.
claws.
Yeah, there we
Night
go.
Crasher.
So then I'll have a video up on Monday, which will be an unboxing, and there'll probably be a video on Friday. Now I'm committing now to Mondays, but I keep missing the Fridays, so probably on Friday.
Good stuff.
Record them
Good
both.
stuff. Yeah.
Oh, I've got loads of videos recorded, but
Oh.
I just need to edit them and then get
Got
them
it.
up. That's the
Good stuff. Lots to look forward to then. And Rob, what about your good self? Now, Rob, I'm going to call you out here. Every week you say, you know, you've got a show that's going to top the last show in terms of pickups. How the shit are you topping the last one?
Well, thank you for setting me up with that. And I'll tell you that this Monday on Mail Call, I'll be unboxing my last major key of the year. And it is a big one. So, yeah, definitely want to check that out.
Anybody want to take bets as to whether it is actually the last major key that he gets?
Yeah,
this
it's
year?
not.
Yeah.
It's not.
Like-
Every week's the last major key.
Yeah. How many more Mondays do we have in the year?
There's only a couple. Okay, of what is here in that I know of, what I have planned and mapped out, it's the last major key of the year. There'll be still some minor keys and some other cool books that will be showing on Monday Mail Call, but this will be the last big key of the year.
Good stuff.
And then, of course, I'll have a Thursday. There'll be a video, probably a mystery box unboxing if it gets here in time. Saturday, Chris and I go live with L&H Comics and Collectibles on another episode of Only Slabs, and then we just loop back around Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays, Saturdays. And thank you to everyone. Today I hit
that giveaway today was amazing.
Yeah, I got
Like, everybody check out Only Slabs purely, if for no other reason, that the giveaways are astonishing.
Yeah.
Was 16 books, one of which was a slab.
to one person, and then
Yeah.
and then there was a ton of signed books. There's some Silver Age books in
12
there.
books to- yeah, 12
There's
to
a lot
Joe
of
and-
crazy stuff. Yeah.
One of them was a Claremont signature. Come on, Rob, you're a lunatic.
Madness.
Thank you, DVH.
Nobody
Good
does
stuff.
it better.
Good stuff, mate. So yeah, looking forward to that. Okay, guys, listen, thank you so much for jumping on tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure as ever. Thank you to everybody that's been in the chat. You guys have been great. I really do appreciate you spending a bit of time with us on a Saturday evening. So, and again, we'll say good night and we'll catch you all next week. So, night, everybody. Thank you.
That's your whack.
That's your whack.